Good morning and welcome to all the viewers. Today I am going to present a poem, Amanda, written by Robin Callan. In this poem, the poet wants to highlight the generation gap between the thinking of a daughter and her mother. Every child feels that she or he is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or another. It is a common belief in the minds of each child that parents put many restrictions and they always command them to do one thing or the other. But they take it as a freedom controlled. They feel as if their freedom is reduced. But perhaps they don't think as the parents think. And this poem is about this. And if I explain it in the common language, I feel it is a communication gap, or if I put it in other words, it can be to some extent a generation gap. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Amanda, it would be good if you do not cut your nails with your teeth. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Amanda, do not bend your shoulders. Stop slouching and sit up straight. Don't stoop when you are walking, and when you are sitting, always be straight. And if we look at all these things, first one, if a child does not bite her nails, it will be hygienic for him. If he stops biting her nails, she will not be looking nervous. If a child does not bend her shoulders, she will not distort her posture. If a child does not stoop and sit straight, she will look confident. So these are the things that the mother wants in her child. But we will see a silent response from Amanda in the next paragraph. There is languid emerald sea, where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So when her mother instructed her to do certain things, she was imagining herself to be there on a relaxed, calm, green ocean. And she was considering herself to be the only inhabitant of that place. And she was considering herself to be a mythical creature called mermaid, which possesses upper body of a woman and the lower body of a fish. And she was feeling as if she was a mermaid and floating happily, delightfully on the waves of the ocean. So here we see that after receiving the instruction from her mother, she lands up in a world of fantasy of her own, which is a proof that she wants to avoid those instructions. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room Amanda, I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Again, mother comes with some instructions. Did you complete your homework which was assigned to you by your teacher, Amanda? And did you set your room properly and cleaned all the things that are there lying around in your room? Her mother feels as if she told her before also to clean her shoes. So if we look at the instructions given to Amanda by her mother, then we come to know that she is more concerned about the education of her child. That is why she wants to know whether she has finished her homework or not. She wants her child to live in a clean environment. That is why she tells her, have you cleaned and set your room and all the things intact in it? Because she feels that if a person keep the things neat and tidy, his mind will also have neat and clean thoughts in them. And when she reminds her to clean her shoes, she has a point. She knows it, that every man is judged by the shoes he wears. So she expects from her child to keep her shoes clean so that she may have an impressive impression of her personality on onlookers, whosoever comes in contact with her. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. But again we feel, after receiving the instruction, Amanda is again lost in her thoughts. She is feeling herself to be an orphan who is wandering about in the streets, and there is nobody to nag him or to stop him from doing what she wants to do. She feels as if she is walking on the soft mud, and with her quiet bare feet, she leaves behind certain designs of her foot on the wet mud. The silence is golden. She wants and she knows that silence is fair enough, because she perhaps looks for silence where is nobody to instruct her and disrupt her mind. That is why she says, silence is golden. It means silence is fair enough for her. The freedom is sweet. And if there is no restrictions on her, it will give her a peace of mind. That is why she feels the freedom is sweet. Because here sweetness refers to the peace of mind which she wants to enjoy in the absence of restrictions and orders from her mother. Do not eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? Amanda, stop eating these chocolates. Always remember the pimple that you had before. If it was so, then stop taking chocolates. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you? It will be very good if you are talking to me and looking to me. And when I am talking to you, if you are looking at me, it would be very good, Amanda. Here in this passage from the mother's instruction, we come to know that she is very much worried about the health of her child, Amanda. And she wants her daughter to follow certain social manners, which is to pay attention by looking at a person who is talking to you. I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. She feels herself to be Rapunzel, which refers to a fairy tale in which a girl named Rapunzel was captivated in a tower by a witch. She had very long and strong golden hair. From the tower, she lowered those golden hair, and her friend came up on the tower with the help of those golden hair, and he freed him from the captivity of that witch. So she considers herself to be Rapunzel. She feels she does not have any care now, because the life which she is leading in a tower is full of calmness, and it is a life which is not a common life. It is a rare life which she is leading there. And she has decided in her mind, I will certainly never let down my bright hair. From today onward, I will never lower down my golden hairs, bright golden brilliant hairs in my life. It means that she feels that if she is abiding in a tower all alone, she will not need any help from any human being. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Stop brooding always at once. I want you to stop lamenting on the things in your life, Amanda. I have always seen you to be having an unpredictable mood. There is always mood swings in your behavior, Amanda. If you behave like this, everybody thinks that I am always harassing you or scolding you, Amanda. So the takeaway tip in this poem is, when the children will start feeling that whatever is instructed to me is for my benefit and for my success, and when the parents also start taking their child as a child and coming to know about his mindset and giving some importance and credit to her feelings, this gap will decrease and the parent-child relationship be cordial for the success of a family. Now the literary terms. In the first and second stanza, the rhyming scheme is A, B, B, A, C, C, C. Then we have an example of anaphora. In the first and second line, both the lines begin with don't. In the first paragraph, there is a perfect example of repetition. Amanda name is used thrice to emphasize her being. Kindly refer to the third line in the first paragraph. A powerful example of alliteration. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Here we see the alliteration of S sound. Allusion. Allusions are the stories which are often heard. They can be mythical stories. It can be folklore. And in this poem we have two allusions. One is second paragraph, third line, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Here, mermaid is used as an allusion. Then second last paragraph, I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Here, Rapunzel is again a famous folklore and a fairy tale. Concluding note, let the parents understand their children, especially their feelings. Let all the children understand the reason and the well-being of the children behind the instructions which are important to them. Instructions are not always to check or put a control on the freedom of children. They are for the betterment of the children and the family. Let us unite together to remove this misunderstanding between the parents and the children. Thank you very much.